In the heart of Dharamshala, with monsoon rains pounding down, rescuers were racing through the flooded streets when they spotted something unbelievable. There, amidst the storm, a falcon lay broken and soaked, yet under its protective wing, a tiny kitten lay huddled and dry. Predator and prey side by side, bound by some unspoken need. Nature's rules were about to be rewritten, and an extraordinary tale of survival was just beginning. In the heart of India's majestic Himalayan region, the city of Dharamshala found itself engulfed by an unprecedented monsoon storm. Relentless rain had been pouring for 16 straight hours, transforming the usually bustling streets into treacherous waterways. The dark, menacing sky showed no signs of mercy as muddy waters carried debris through the narrow alleys of this normally peaceful city. Through the storm-ravaged streets, a dedicated team of animal rescuers navigated their van with determination. Their vehicle, adorned with the local Animal Protection Association's logo, moved cautiously through the floodwaters. Inside, 3 volunteers, Anika, Raj, and Priya, scanned their surroundings intently, searching for animals in distress. The day had begun well before dawn when the first weather alert sounded. Since then, they worked tirelessly, rescuing trembling dogs from under cars, cats perched on windowsills, and even a group of monkeys seeking refuge on a temple roof. Each rescue represented a small victory, yet served as a poignant reminder of these creatures' vulnerability to nature's whims. Eventually, fatigue began to set in as daylight started to fade. Despite their exhaustion, evident in their red-rimmed eyes and rain-soaked clothes clinging to their skin, the rescuers pressed on with unwavering determination. Suddenly, Anika, seated in the front, caught sight of something unusual. Without warning, she called for an immediate stop, startling her companions. The van halted abruptly, sending water spraying in all directions. Moving swiftly, Anika opened her door and stepped into knee-deep water, carefully making her way toward what had caught her attention. Her colleagues followed closely behind. Meanwhile, atop a small island of debris created by the storm, lay a sight that defied comprehension. A falcon, its brown and golden feathers plastered against its body by the rain, lay motionless on the ground. One of its wings bent at an awkward angle, clearly broken. However, it wasn't the bird's injury that had stopped Anika in her tracks. It was what sheltered beneath its uninjured wing. Huddled against the raptor's body, a tiny gray tabby kitten shivered from the cold. The falcon, despite its own dire situation, had extended its good wing to shield the small creature from the pounding rain. This incongruous yet deeply moving scene left the rescuers momentarily speechless. Furthermore, the scene before them challenged everything they knew about the natural world. A raptor, typically a predator of small mammals, protecting a kitten as if it were its own offspring, defied all conventional wisdom. The team exchanged glances, having never encountered such an extraordinary situation in their numerous missions. Soon, Priya, the youngest team member, cautiously advanced, hoping to rescue both animals. However, as she took another step forward, the falcon raised its head, its piercing eyes fixed on the humans. With a hoarse cry, it attempted to stand, its sharp beak snapping in warning. Understanding that a direct approach would only further frighten the falcon, the team changed tactics. Raj hurried back to the vehicle for food while Anika and Priya maintained their distance, carefully observing the unlikely pair. The rain continued its relentless assault, creating a curtain of water between the rescuers and their charges. In addition to its defensive posture, the falcon showed clear signs of exhaustion. Its breathing labored, its body trembled with the effort of maintaining its protective wing over the kitten. The little feline, surprisingly, remained calm, as if finding unexpected comfort in the warmth of its feathered protector. Moments later, Raj returned with an assortment of food, raw meat for the falcon and kitten formula. With measured movements, he placed the offerings halfway between the rescuers and the animals before backing away. Time seemed to stretch endlessly as they waited, watching through the sheets of rain that continued to fall. The atmosphere grew tense as the falcon maintained its vigilant watch over the rescuers. Though the food's aroma clearly caught its attention, its fierce eyes never left them, even as exhaustion threatened to overwhelm its weakened body. Unexpectedly, the small kitten began to move, drawn by the scent of milk. It wiggled out from under the falcon's protective wing, breaking the spell that had held everyone motionless. The falcon, in another surprising gesture, gently nudged the kitten with its beak, as if encouraging it toward the food. Stumbling on unsteady legs, the tiny feline approached the bowl of milk. Its initial steps wavered, but as it moved away from the falcon, its gait grew more confident. Watching intently, Annika noticed that despite hours in the rain, the kitten appeared remarkably dry and warm, a testament to the effectiveness of the falcon's protection. Moreover, the scene unfolding before them continued to challenge their understanding of animal behavior. The falcon's protective instincts seemed to transcend natural boundaries, demonstrating a level of compassion that many believed impossible between predator and prey. Carefully, Priya stepped forward, hoping to catch the kitten while it fed. The falcon, in a burst of protective energy, attempted to rise with a warning cry. This sudden movement seemed to drain its remaining strength, and the bird collapsed back onto the wet ground, its breathing becoming more labored. Touched by this extraordinary tale of unlikely friendship? Like and subscribe now to uncover more inspiring stories that challenge our understanding of the animal kingdom. And don't forget to leave a comment. Your feedback is highly appreciated. The rescuers froze, torn between the urgent need to help and the fear of causing more stress. Then, in a moment that touched their hearts deeply, the kitten turned back toward the falcon. With delicate steps, the small feline returned to rub against the raptor's beak, as if offering reassurance to its unlikely guardian. This unexpected display of tenderness appeared to calm the falcon. Its eyes, previously filled with mistrust, softened visibly. Lowering its head, it seemed to give the kitten permission to approach the humans, understanding perhaps that its young charge needed help it could no longer provide. Seizing this opportunity, Annika moved forward slowly, hands extended in a non-threatening gesture. After a final glance at its winged protector, the kitten walked toward her. With gentle movements, she lifted it and wrapped it in a warm towel, marveling at how perfectly healthy it seemed despite its ordeal in the storm. With the kitten secure, the team turned their attention to the injured falcon. Exhaustion had taken its toll on the noble bird, and it made no attempt to escape as Raj approached with a blanket. Together they managed to carefully wrap it, taking special care not to aggravate its wing injury. The rain began to ease as they carried their precious charges back to the vehicle. A golden ray of sunlight broke through the clouds, casting an almost ethereal glow over the scene. For the rescuers, it felt as if nature itself acknowledged the extraordinary events they had witnessed. A reminder that even in the darkest storms, the most unexpected bonds could form and flourish. Inside the rescue vehicle racing through Dharamshala's flooded streets, Annika held the kitten close while Raj navigated carefully toward the nearest veterinary clinic. Priya monitored the falcon from the back seat, watching its half-closed eyes that betrayed complete exhaustion. Each bump in the road made the rescuers wince, fearing they might worsen the raptor's injuries. Upon reaching the clinic, Dr. Mehra, a compassionate woman in her 50s, greeted them at the entrance. She quickly guided the team to the examination room, listening intently to their extraordinary tale while beginning her assessment of both animals. Meanwhile, the veterinary team worked efficiently, examining the unlikely pair. The kitten, despite its harrowing experience, showed remarkable resilience. Though dehydrated and hungry, it had suffered no serious injuries, a testament to its winged protector's dedication. The falcon's condition proved more concerning. Beyond its fractured wing, the beautiful bird suffered from exhaustion and hypothermia. Dr. Mehra explained that immediate surgery would be necessary to repair the wing. But first, they needed to stabilize the bird's condition. The falcon had depleted all its energy protecting its tiny companion. Throughout the following hours, the veterinary staff worked tirelessly. They administered fluids and antibiotics to the falcon, preparing it for surgery. The kitten received special care from a veterinary assistant, who provided warmth and nourishment to the small creature. In the waiting room, exhausted but unable to leave, the rescue team discussed the remarkable bond they had witnessed. They contemplated what could have driven these natural adversaries to form such an unlikely alliance. The storm had perhaps awakened something profound in both creatures, a recognition of shared vulnerability that transcended their natural instincts. Eventually, Dr. Mehra emerged with encouraging news. The surgery had succeeded, and with proper rest and care, the falcon would likely fly again. This announcement brought visible relief to everyone present, though one question remained: what would become of these improbably bonded animals? Soon enough, the answer presented itself in an unexpected way. While discussing rehabilitation options for the Falcon and adoption possibilities for the Kitten, a soft sound drew their attention. The Kitten, having escaped its enclosure, had somehow found its way to the Falcon's recovery room. Upon investigation, they discovered the small feline curled up against the sleeping bird, purring contentedly. This touching scene sealed their fate. The veterinary team decided to keep the pair together during their recovery period. Dr. Mera, fascinated by their unique relationship, offered to personally oversee their care and rehabilitation. Furthermore, the following days brought a series of small miracles. The Falcon, whom the team named Guardian, recovered steadily from surgery. The Kitten, dubbed Chance by Priya, remained faithfully by its protector's side. Their continued bond defied conventional wisdom, yet no one could deny the strength of their connection. News of this extraordinary duo spread rapidly through Dharamshala, catching the attention of local and national media. Journalists arrived at the clinic hoping to document this remarkable friendship. Dr. Mera carefully managed access to protect her patients, allowing only occasional supervised visits through a viewing window. Meanwhile, Anika, Raj, and Priya made regular visits, bringing treats and observing the evolution of this unique relationship. Chance grew quickly into an energetic young cat, but maintained its special affection for Guardian. The Falcon, in turn, seemed to embrace its role as mentor, watching over the Kitten with remarkable patience. Several weeks later, a pressing question emerged. What would become of this unusual pair? Guardian, once fully recovered, would need to return to the wild. Chance, as a domestic cat, required a permanent home. The team decided to organize a release ceremony for Guardian in a nearby nature preserve, using the event to celebrate this extraordinary story and raise awareness about animal protection. On the day of Guardian's release, emotion filled the air. A small crowd gathered in the preserve, including journalists, animal advocates, and citizens touched by the story. Anika held Chance, who watched curiously as Dr. Mera prepared Guardian for release. The moment of truth arrived with breathtaking beauty. Dr. Mera raised her arms, releasing Guardian into the sky. The Falcon spread its wings, now strong and healed, and soared upward. The crowd held their breath as it circled above them, its feathers gleaming in the sunlight. Unexpectedly, Guardian swooped down, gliding just above Anika and Chance. The Falcon's feathers brushed against the cat's fur as it passed, eliciting a soft meow from Chance, who reached out toward its departing friend. Then, with one final magnificent wing beat, Guardian rose into the blue sky and disappeared. Inspired by the bond between Guardian and Chance, Anika decided to adopt the Kitten. She also established a foundation dedicated to protecting both wild and domestic animals, naming it Wing and Paw in honor of her inspirations. In the months that followed, reports began flowing in from the region. Hikers and local residents described seeing an unusually friendly falcon that seemed to watch over the preserve's stray cats. While these stories remained unverified, they fueled hope that somewhere, Guardian continued its protective mission. Moreover, Chance grew into a magnificent adult cat, maintaining a fascinating connection with the sky and birds. Anika often noticed him spending long moments gazing upward, as if waiting for his winged friend's return. His story became a local legend, shared with children as an example of compassion and friendship beyond boundaries. The tale of Guardian and Chance inspired books, documentaries, and even a small sanctuary in the preserve where Guardian was released. More importantly, it changed how many people viewed the animal kingdom, reminding them that even in the most unlikely circumstances, compassion and mutual aid could transcend natural differences. Years passed, but the memory of this extraordinary friendship continued inspiring acts of kindness toward animals throughout the region. Sometimes, when the wind blew just right and the sun hit at a particular angle, Dharamshala's residents swore they could see a falcon's shadow soaring above the city, still watching over its four-legged friends below. Guardian and Chance's story wasn't just about survival. It became a reminder that sometimes, the most unbreakable bonds blossom where we least expect them. Against all odds, they bridged a divide that nature itself would forbid, showing us that even in life's darkest storms, compassion can bridge differences we never thought possible, even between the most unlikely friends.
Imagine walking down the street and hearing a faint, desperate cry for help. You look around and see a dying cat covered in flies struggling to survive. What would you do? Stay tuned for our next heart-wrenching story.